Hi guys, today I'm in South Delhi again, and I'm today in a college which is very close to my heart. This was one of the initial colleges where I shot my first few I Am Guy Campus Diaries videos. Before I start this video, I'd like to present a statistic to all of you. In the entire world today, less than 30% of women are there in workforce, including India. And that is a problem most organizations have been trying to solve, but they're not able to solve it. Most B schools have been trying to solve it, and वो क्या करते हैं, वो पॉइंट्स देते हैं जेंडर डाइवर्सिटी के लिए, इसीलिए देते हैं क्योंकि कॉर्पोरेट्स भी यही प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करना चाहते हैं. सब कोई लगे पड़े हैं ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने के लिए, बट अगर हम MBA कॉलेजेस देखें तो बहुत ही कम है जो एक्चुअली अपना पूरा करिकुलम या कोई सेमेस्टर ऐसा बनाते हैं जो इस प्रॉब्लम को सॉल्व करने के लिए लगाए और बिताए. देयर इज़ वन कॉलेज विच इज़ सॉल्विंग दिस प्रॉब्लम, विच इज़ वेदिका स्कॉलर्स प्रोग्राम फॉर वुमेन. और मैं बैठा हूँ अनुराधा मैम के साथ. शी इज़ द फाउंडिंग डीन ऑफ द प्रोग्राम एंड हैव अ लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस विद मी because I myself am very curious. Let's ask her and get our questions answered. Welcome Anuradha ma'am.
Thank you.
So ma'am, first of all, thank you for having me here. Whenever I come here, I'm just, my whole aura and mindset changes. Maybe it's because of the culture that we already established here. My first question is regarding that statistic which I presented. You stand to solve this problem of women's participation in the workforce. How do you actually go on solving this problem?
Thank you, and thank you for coming. And we keep thinking of ourselves as a young institution, so when someone recognizes us and recognizes the work they're trying to do, it's a real pleasure. So thank you again. Abhishek, it's a very simple problem at some level. Women are studying more and working less. I am an economics graduate. Research and data speaks to me. And I was absolutely astounded when I realized sometimes in the early 2010s that girls पढ़ ज़्यादा रही हैं, the government is focused on making them more educated, but their participation in the workforce is falling. So you're saying overall 30%? In India, the participation of women in the workforce has dropped from 32% 15 years ago to less than 20% today. आप मुझे बताइए कि क्या हो रहा है कि हम पढ़ ज़्यादा रहे हैं और काम कम कर रहे हैं. The focus on education was about empowering women. Our anecdotal evidence, research, conversations with women tells us that empowerment, financial independence के बिना नहीं हो सकती. Okay? So the question that we wanted to solve for was, one, how can women live in the world? The workforce participation is an answer to that. That if women have to live with dignity, then they have to be independent, in our view, on 4 fronts: emotional, intellectual, physical and financial. और ये अब सोच के हमको पता लग गया है कि financial independence makes everything else a little bit easier. Therefore, the birth of what we do today came from the fact that women must be financially independent. Why aren't women working? When we started doing research, we realized that our educational institutions are educating women, they are teaching women how to get jobs. Nobody is teaching young women how to stay in a job. तो जब years of conditioning के सवाल आते हैं कि husband का transfer हो रहा है, मैं क्या करूँ, घर में elderly are unwell, मैं क्या करूँ, the first response is because हमें किसी ने बताया ही नहीं. Our answers are to quit. Once you quit, not possible to come back. So we figured that we needed to help women get jobs but keep jobs, and therefore our curriculum is a management curriculum that is preparing you like any other MBA school to get jobs, but we have a parallel track that is addressing everything that women tend to have neglected or not pursued, and say हमारे 24-25 साल की लड़कियां वो सीख के जाएंगी so that they don't quit.
Understood.
I mean, our sole purpose is for young women to not quit.
Generally, we see that when women quit, they start, very well with men, with their men counterparts. Start में साथ ही रहता है, but the graph changes after maybe marriage, then kids, and it keeps on changing and increasing in a way. I mean, women quitting keeps on increasing. So आप जो अभी सिखा रहे हो, वो women 32 या 35 या 30 साल के हो रहे हैं, उनको implement करना है. तो what exactly आपका कैसा culture है? How do you make sure? Because it will not just be taught from books or even through faculty. How do you actually then make sure कि वो सीखे? How is that culture? What do you exactly mean when you say you solve this problem?
I think 3-4 चीज़ें हैं अभिषेक. The first is that today there are enough and more senior women who are telling younger women, please don't quit.
Okay.
They are not proud of the fact that they quit their jobs for their homes because there are umpteen women who have successful careers and great families and kids. So हमारा मानना है कि 45 साल की उम्र में a woman is very seldom not happy with what she did. She has regrets about what she didn't do.
True.
Very happy that she got married, has children, has a family, all of that. But the fact that she has nothing to call her own in terms of a career or what she did with her own education or her life, that is the regret. Secondly, shuru mein na, when people used to ask me, what's your philosophy? There's so much focus on choice. If it's your choice to not work. So in those days, I used to say, we have to equip them. But over the years, I've become very unabashed about saying, you cannot bring up children where your son is told that he must work and your daughter has a choice. If you have spent on their education, both people, whether sons or daughters, boys and girls, both have a duty to be in the workplace. Both have a duty or responsibility to share whatever comes with life, whether it is sharing in the home, whether it is sharing parenting, whether it is sharing responsibilities for your parents, for your home, all of those things. We now have a batch of 130. The mothers are telling their daughters, you know what, it'll be nice if you do all the other things that we expect of you, but the one thing that we don't want you to do is quit your job.
Yeah.
Now, I had not thought that in my lifetime in India, India's mothers from across the country, 92 cities is, Vedica's representation, कि माँ अपनी बेटियों को बोलेंगी, I don't care about anything else, please do not quit your job. And they say, when we ask our girls in the interviews, they say that their mothers don't feel heard. They don't feel that their opinion counts. They don't feel like they can influence decisions because they have no money. The third thing they are doing is we figure out what makes you quit because nobody prepared you for those big dilemmas. I am telling you कि आपको 30, 32, 35 तक रुकने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. I will tell you today from the experiences of other women, from your peers, from your own lives, please look around and you know that these questions will come up at 28, 30, 32, 35. We are preparing you to be able to navigate those folks in your life by the kind of curriculum we are building.
The mission that you very proudly and very confidently highlighted. So how do you make sure कि students come up with the same vision and mission? What is the admission process like? उसके बारे में थोड़ा बताओ.
Very nice question. Thank you. इसके लिए मुझे बड़ी flack मिलता है amongst my peers because people keep talking about the quality of students. Abhishek, I get so upset when people ask me that question because चाय बेचने के लिए 99% चाहिए क्या?
True.
नहीं चाहिए. Project manager बनने के लिए 99% चाहिए क्या? नहीं. But हमारे देश में there is such a focus that people want to stand on podiums and say I'm growing 100% year on year. I don't take children below 99%. So where is the rest of this world going to go? And a 75%er is actually a great kid. Our fees are accordingly. People tell me you're doing such a good job. ज़्यादा पैसे लो, मुझे नहीं चाहिए. मैं हिंदुस्तान में काम करती हूँ. I want to make our program accessible to every young woman who has the desire for a break-free career and a life of dignity. Okay? So I will enable them to take a loan so that and get a job that allows them to pay off that loan very quickly.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the first thing, that we don't have an academic cutoff.
True.
What does that mean? That we have to work hard and say, भाई अगर किसी को अंग्रेजी नहीं आती है, should I reject them? No. In 18 months, I can teach anybody English. So we have a writing and communication center.
Okay.
The only thing that we really try and assess in an interview from an academic standpoint is, can this child cope with our academic curriculum?
Okay.
If they can, whether they have 72% or they have 85%, I don't care. Our promise is, whatever you are, if you walk into Vedica, what I can promise you is that you will see the biggest delta in who you are if you stay those 18 months with us. We also assure placements because I think we want to set women up for the best career path they can have, but it's the most appropriate career path. So if you are a 70%er and you tell me कि मुझे BCG में नौकरी चाहिए, I'm telling you मैं नहीं दिला सकती. But I will get you a job that is the best and the most appropriate job for who you are, what you have been, and who you can be.
True.
So your first step I will ensure, and I will equip you for every next step. So our results are fantastic. Abhishek, given that we are not AICTE recognized, we don't give a degree in a country like India where parents still tell their children, "Aapko degree chahiye." To your point, naukri ke liye kids study their higher education for a job. So we assure jobs. Anyone who comes to Vedica wants to recruit one person, next year come back for 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have a great recruiter base. More than 90% of the women who have graduated from Vedica in the last 8 years are still in the workforce.
True.
So they've crossed that 30-32 wala.
So, और ऐसे क्या क्या programs हैं? Because I heard there's a shadow a women program. So I want to know about these different programs that you have.
What is unique?
Yeah.
So 2-3 things that are quite unique. I think the first thing is that there is a lot of conversation today about the difference in leadership styles that are masculine and feminine. I'm not saying male and female. There are leadership traits that are masculine, there are leadership traits that are feminine. Now, when our girls, how are they meant to see role models? Nahi hai. So you have to expose them to role models early enough for them to know that they can get to very successful positions. During our 18-month program, all of our girls, one term, go and shadow a senior woman leader. The intention is twofold. One is it's a substitute for what is popularly called work experience. But the second thing is that you get exposed to leadership by a senior woman. When the girls come back, the 130 of them share their experiences. So in that 3 days of sharing experiences, they all hear about almost 130 distinct styles. And that tells every young woman that I can be myself and still be successful. So you don't have to be loud or modern or aggressive or conservative or a mother or not or married or single. It doesn't matter. Whoever you are, there is a way for you to be successful. So that's the shadow, which is quite unique. The second thing, like I told you, is that because we don't have a cutoff and we don't reject women for their English or their general knowledge, we are looking for women who are hungry, who have the aptitude to cope with the program and want a career. So if we are convinced that they will stay in the workforce, we are willing to invest whatever it takes to bring them up to speed. So the second thing is how do you make up for the fact that a child may have grown up in a small village and wasn't exposed to general knowledge. Interview panels yahi puchte hain. So we have a very dedicated course called Contemporary Business Affairs, which is based on a young woman reading the newspapers. तो हम वो करिकुलम में डाल देते हैं. आप 18 महीने न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ोगे and it's coordinated, of course you'll be okay by the end of it. The third thing we've started is, and these are some stereotypes, that women and numbers don't work together. क्या बकवास है? Right? But because it's a stereotype and we want to kill it, we started the Vedica Quant Center 3 years ago, where our girls students who feel like they are not good with numbers or are afraid of numbers, they have specialized coaching, and over 18 months, any fear that anybody may have of numbers, they get comfortable.
So are there any specific roles which you believe are more suited, or they come like regularly to Vedica Scholars and people have been doing well from companies?
सब आते हैं. I mean, we have a lot of, I think because of the communication and the business, the work ethic and the attitude, very interestingly, we get a lot of roles that are focused on the founder's office.
Okay.
So somebody who can coordinate, demonstrates maturity, discretion, good communication skills, etc. We get product manager roles. Of course, we get the regular functional roles, marketing, business analyst, all of those. I think we have a very specific course called the Project Manager Series.
Okay.
Which came out of the belief that when people graduate, end to end to manage something, which is a very core need in companies, wo missing hota. So based on all of those things, because the idea is to break stereotypes.
True.
So we encourage our girls really over the 18 months to open their minds. I'll tell you, many years ago, one girl came, she used to like writing. She'd studied, I think, English at LSR, came into the program and basically said she wanted to be a travel writer. That was her horizon. She now works at McKinsey. So I think
True.
people really see a
And that's
shift.
part of the delta that you talked about.
It's the delta both in their mind, in their mindset and in their competencies and skills.
True.
The number of people, there's another girl who now works with Make My Trip, has done fantastically in business roles. Again, an English literature student who never thought she could do numbers, and she was like the main business manager in the CEO's office dealing with special projects for a long time. So I think the shift is huge.
Great, ma'am. Amazing things to know about the college. So I would like to share a few insights here. This college is in South Delhi, so location काफ़ी बढ़िया है. I got to know that the hostel has been newly developed and it's amazing. Few people were chit-chatting, few students were chit-chatting that the new hostel is really superb. So you have all the amenities जो कि necessary है, which ma'am rightly said, these are hygiene factors कि MBA तो आपको आना ही चाहिए. Similarly, वही hostel and faculty सब कुछ है ही. These are the unique things which make Vedica the college the place that it is. It's been very tough for placements for all colleges. जैसे आपका जो last year था उसके comparison में all B schools have been struggling tremendously. Let me ask ma'am here, and she's been very honest with her answers. What is your take on this? And
it's a tough year, Abhishek, and you can introspect and say हम कुछ गड़बड़ कर रहे हैं क्या, but the truth is that's not the case. This is a part of a business cycle, and in fact it's not even because businesses are not doing well. The truth is that most people overhired last year. So I'll tell you Vedica में क्या होता है. हमारी graduation होती है end Jan में. Normally by December, middle of January, almost the entire class, 2-3 बच्चे बचते हैं, everybody is placed. Last year that we hit that number I think in November because people post COVID just hiring in hordes. Now this year most people are not hiring because they have people from last year they had overhired. So while businesses are doing okay, and that's the dilemma, that's what every business school is struggling with. Yeah, business is doing well, economy is growing, placements क्यों नहीं हो रही हैं? My point is that young people can't make decisions based on last year's placement data. Firstly, everybody is in a spot. Next year will be great.
Yeah.
Right? You have to look about whether what a college is teaching you is equipping you for your life, not just for next year. First step हम करा ही देंगे. And I think what I would like to say is कि we don't say अच्छा साल खत्म हो गया अब जाओ. We continue to help our girls get jobs till they are placed. So in fact, the hostel, college finished, the fees is paid till Jan, but any girl who is not placed is in our hostel.
Wow.
We give them that space to be able to participate in the placement process. The careers team is completely focused on them. I am focused. This year is an exceptional year, so we are all friends, everybody is doing that because we'll get there. Internships, no problem. So I don't know, 20-30 girls have been placed in 3 to 6 month projects till such time. I think you have to, for us, the only thing I want to say is, Abhishek, that at the core of everything we do is the success, the comfort and the joy of our scholars. So I am saying, it's a tough business year. What can we do so that our women cope better and get to where they want to get sooner?
Thank you so much for these lovely answers, ma'am. If I have to summarize, Vedica does not solve immediate problem or does not only solve the immediate problem of placements or jobs, but it ensures that what women get here, they carry up to the end of their corporate life, if not corporate, then personal life. And sisterhood is what is imbibed in every facet of Vedica. It totally reflects when you step into the college. We'll now talk to one of the students who is graduating this year and see how she feels about the college.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Guys, I have with me Muskan Mehra. She is from the 8th batch of the college, and she's placed in Aditya Birla Capital. इनसे पूछेंगे कि इनका कैसा एक्सपीरियंस था. Tell us about जब आप आए थे Vedica Scholars program.
Sure.
तो how did you feel like, आप कैसे थे और अभी आपको क्या लग रहा है कि what are the changes have you imbibed from this program?
Sure. So I joined. I already had 3 years of work ex before I came to Vedica. So I've always been a liberal arts student, and I did not quite understand the importance of liberal arts until the time I actually read it as a module. So when I came here, I was previously working with Manpower Group. I had 3 years of work ex, and I was working as an associate consultant in talent acquisition there. So once I moved here, I was really inclined towards the course the moment I read about it, because it was offering multiple tracks, and it was very different from a very usual MBA that we do in B schools. So that was one thing that really intrigued me about the course. Apart from that, one thing, so there were 4 tracks: personal growth track, communications track, then liberal arts track, and the management track that we do. So liberal arts came in as a delta point for me, because from there I learned critical thinking, decision making, and problem solving abilities, which are actually required for us as a leader in a corporate world. And even after having WorkX, I really felt that I was lacking somewhere knowledge about the businesses and how they function, how leaders function, what is actually going on behind the businesses. And that was one thing that I felt that I was not doing right, and I was not working on myself enough. And this is where Vedica came in and ticked all the boxes. I was not really particularly aiming at Aditya Birla. I was applying to multiple organizations, but yes, the moment I got through, it was one of the best companies that came on the campus. Yeah, exactly. It's a big brand to be associated with, and then the role that they are offering me, it's of a management trainee, and then the package that they are offering is again amazing. So that really is one of the, thank you so much, but that is one of the memories that I will cherish forever throughout my life.
That आपका जो shadow of women program था,
Yeah.
or whatever,
Shadow module, yeah.
corporate internships, corporate exposure that you had,
Yeah,
उसके
yeah.
बारे में थोड़ा बताओ, which helped you in getting this place.
Sure, definitely. So I'll cover the shadow module, and then I'll tell you a little bit about my mentor who was there throughout the course also. So my shadow mentor was Pamela Wong. She is the Vice President HR for APAC region in Belden Incorporation. So that is basically a sales organization. They are transforming into a product-based organization now. So she has given me a lot of personal and professional insights about a lot of things. So one of the huge takeaways from my shadow module was that HR as a function is not something that should be taken for granted.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very stereotypical. It has a very stereotypical notion for itself.
A lot of people.
Yeah, so she told me that it is one of the functions, and I also, even after working for 3 years, even I had that sort of a mindset, and I was looking for a shift to a different domain.
Okay.
Yeah, for a different domain. But right now, after doing my shadow, I literally had a different mindset towards the function. We were very candidly having a conversation one day, and she told me how HR is actually binding all the functions together, even in a sales organization where sales is a dominant role and that is driving the business. So I did my shadow in Hong Kong. So I was there with her, shadowing her literally everywhere. I was there for 3 weeks.
Perfect.
Yeah, so that was another transformational journey for me, because then first of all I was traveling to a different country. Now I'm confident enough to go to a country where English might not be the first language, or Hindi might not be the first language. I'll be comfortable going there, working there, because it has made me resilient in that sense. Yeah.
Guys, if you also want to have the experiences like Muskan, and if you like the college, you're free to apply. I loved my time being here. All the best. Stay safe.